All right, y'all, we are live on this beautiful Friday. Are my glasses crooked? Blessings to everybody in the name of Jesus, Yeshua, the Messiah. I pray everybody is having a wonderful Friday after such a crazy dump. We're going to be getting into this juicy price action, guys. We are going to be getting into it because, let me tell you, things are about to get crazy. Things are about to get absolutely crazy. Shout out to everybody in the chat. It's great to see you all. Shout out to Jock. What is going on, my bro? Shout out to Dave Digital. What is going on, Dave Digital? Shout out to David Harrison. Shout out to Cosio. Shout out to Jack Hez family. How come no more Pikachu hat? You know what? I have the Pikachu hat. I have it right here. And let me just remind everybody, the reason why no more Pikachu hat is because of the green screen, right? That's the reason why. That's the reason why. Shout out to Preparing for War. Shout out to Tyler M. Shout out to my man Shoaib. If I can't pronounce your name right, I apologize. Shout out to Learn Real Estate Photography. He says poop, poop, poop. It's all a whole bunch of poop, guys. Bitcoin is going to zero. Are we going to zero? I don't know. I don't know. But here's my next major target here for Bitcoin, at least to the downside. My next major target is going to be about $19,300. $19,300. Still chilling out in the short that we gave in the Casper Crew VIP Discord from 25,285. And there is a real chance here, guys, that we do get a move all the way down to take out these lows. And if we take a look at the weekly time frame right here, we can see that because we had a very smooth move up, we very well may indeed also get a smooth move back down. And if we don't hold some of the key supports that we're going to be looking at today, well then, the unfortunate reality, guys, is that the moves are going to get smooth. All right? The moves are going to get smooth. So we're going to be taking a look at the macro. We're going to be taking a look at the micro. We're going to be just doing some weekend TA because, you know, preparing for the weekend, we have to be prepared for strange things to happen because smaller players can absolutely move the market during weekend volatility. And so we need to be prepared for key levels to the upside or to the downside. So first of all, Bitcoin is getting a bit of a bounce today. We're starting to finally form a range. And as you can see, we have come down and we have bounced from a very specific level, which is none other than the Fibonacci Golden Pocket retracement from the low that we put in back here on, actually it was December 30th, 2022. You pull the Fib from here to here and we are coming down to the Fibonacci Golden Pocket, right? Now, something else that's very interesting about this exact level is, if you guys remember back during the pump in January, we had a very, very fast move to the upside right here. Right? Remember that? And do you guys remember when we were consolidating in this little area, we were all waiting to come down to this level that we're currently at right now. Why were we waiting for that level? It's because we had a CME futures gap right there. And we were saying these gaps get filled. If we put on our CME futures gap right here, the indicator, we can see that it's actually showing us that the futures markets closed that Friday right about here. Boom. And then they opened again back on Sunday right up here. Boom. Leaving a big gap on the chart. On the futures chart, there was a big gap from this area right here to this area right here, right? The Sunday candle opened right here, and there's nothing on the chart. And now that gap has officially been filled. And that is why we are bouncing from this level. It's a nice confluence. It's actually a pretty nice confluence. Are we going to continue with the bounce? I don't know, right? I don't know. We're clearly ranging sideways here, and we're going to be talking about this as well in a little bit. But I want to talk about how I was able to actually catch the bounce because, you know, I think it could help a lot of people as well in the future when we're looking for trades. What is really useful, I should say, is when we are dumping free fall, you want to mark the key zones of support that are below. And if you know a key level that is below, you want to be looking at your indicator market cipher. And When we come to a level, if the money flow is getting higher and the momentum waves are getting higher over time, that means we're probably going to get some kind of a bounce from the level, right? Some kind of a bounce from the level. And that's pretty much exactly what happened here. There were some other ways that we were able to actually enter the trade, but this is one of the zones, one of the levels that we had in the Casper Crew VIP Discord yesterday, last night. We gave 3 levels to potentially look for a bounce, and this was one of them. And sure enough, we are bouncing from that level. Now, we are also rejecting from a key zone of resistance right here. This resistance is none other than the local Fibonacci 786. If we pull it from the high to the low, it's the golden pocket. If we pull it from this high to the low, we can see that it is the Fibonacci 786 level. So the reason why we're finding resistance right here is simply because we are coming up to some fib levels, and this is basically forming the sideways range in which we are trading today. And so as far as the sideways range goes, for me, if we come down and take the lows and we continue printing these bullish divergences here on Market Cipher, I would look for a fake out to the downside. And also, we do need to be aware that we could squeeze from here. It's not actually looking too strong right now, but there is a very real chance that we squeeze up from here. And the reason why is because when you have such a fast move down, like what we've had in the past few days, it leaves behind these things called single prints. And those, basically, when price comes back into them, it could fill very, very quickly. It could fill very, very quickly, right? So basically, if we start to come up into this area here, like 20,400, it could be a very smooth move back up to at least the area of 21.3, right? We can see we have this big move down right here. We would get a very, very fast move up. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bullish thing, right? But it does mean we would get a fast move up. So let me kind of talk about what I'm looking at right now, because we've been saying for a long time, as long as we don't lose $21,400, which is this previous low right here, that we're still technically in bullish market structure, right? 23,371. This was the line in the sand for me saying, you know, if we lose this level, I'm officially now no longer in buy the dip mode. Well, we have lost this level. And what that means is from the low that we put in November, low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, we've officially now put in a lower low on the daily time frame and on the weekly time frame. And so this is a major deal, because even if we squeeze up from here, in my opinion, we need to be looking for a lower high to be put in, right? Something like this. Let's say we even do squeeze up and we even come back up to here. We need to be looking for a lower high to be put in, because in my opinion, market structure is king, especially on these high time frames, right? The trend is your friend until the end of the trend, right? And now that we've officially confirmed a new trend, we should be looking to trade with that trend as far as our swing trades go, right? So resistances to the upside that we need to be aware of are going to be these, okay? They're going to be these. If we squeeze all the way up back to here, which very well could even happen over the weekend, right? Then we need to be aware of the Fibonacci golden pocket and the high volume node, which is going to be coming in right around 23,150 to 23.3K. This is going to be our next major zone of resistance, and this, in my opinion, will probably give us a rejection, right? A rejection. The 618 always gives us rejections. My high school crush, here she is. When I asked her out on a date, she absolutely rejected me. I grossed her out to the utmost degree. It's because I'm really bad at hygiene, guys. I never showered. I didn't wear cool clothes. I didn't have a cool haircut. I smelled awful. I had acne all over my face. I was obese, low self-esteem, neck beard. You know what I'm saying? I ate pizza every day. She was a vegan and gluten-free. It didn't work out. And so she rejected me when I asked her out. And look at the rejection. It was pretty dang intense. It was pretty dang intense. And so that's kind of what I would expect to happen if we make our way back up to this area. Now, of course, we might not make it up there. In fact, we seem to be dumping down right now as we speak. We do seem to be dumping down right now as we speak. So, you know, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. We've already come down below now the local Fibonacci golden pocket. Let's pull out some more golden pocket 786s here to see what we got going on. Okay, so we're coming down to some important zones of support. If we lose this 786 here, I'm probably going to close out of this trade and look maybe to take the lows, right? So this is a very real possibility that could happen. Now, major zones of support to the downside right? Here's the thing. Even if we get a big move up, I will remain bearish on the higher term time frames now, right? My thumbnails will be bullish, sure as heck, open mouth, bullish candles, right? Bullish thumbnails. Bitcoin reclaims 20K, but in reality, the truth is, because of this market structure, we have to maintain a bearish bias for now, right? So what are major zones of support to the downside? Well, we are at a major support right now, but it's when we take a look at supports, how do we know if a support is going to hold? In my opinion, it all has to do with the anatomy of the gluteus maximus. The anatomy of the gluteus maximus. Let me say it again. It has to do with the anatomy of the gluteus maximus. Because if we are coming down to a key zone of support and we don't see what we're looking at right now, then it means the support is unlikely to be an actual bottom. Might give us a retrace, but not an actual bottom. What we want to see on the 4-hour market Cipher B is we want to see something like what we saw over here, right? Or even more so, for a macro bottom, we would want to see something like what we saw back here at $16,300, right? $16,300, the long setup that was given in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. As we hit that low, we were getting market Cipher B, momentum and money flow getting higher, right? We saw it at this low as well, market Cipher B getting higher, the uneven butt cheek pattern. We saw it at the low of Bitcoin, momentum and money flow getting higher on market Cipher B from 15,550, right? And all of those were long trades that we took in the Casper Crew VIP Discord, because this is such a powerful long signal, that 4-hour time frame. That's what we want to see as we come down to support. So right now we're not seeing it. Right now, when we take a look at market Cipher B, we are absolutely seeing something that I like to call the butt cheek blowout pattern. The butt cheek blowout pattern is when it looks like you're about to print a bullish divergence, right? It looks like you're about to have a juicy left cheek and a skinny right cheek. But then what happens? Well, here's the thing. It's very unfortunate, but we live in such a vain world full of Instagram filters and all these kinds of things that make you look beautiful all the time, that young ladies these days are trying to achieve the uneven butt cheek pattern look. And some of them are going to extreme measures, right? Some of them are actually even using fix-a-flat to try and achieve the look. But here's the problem. Fix-a-flat is scientifically proven to cause what I like to call a butt cheek blowout, okay? You can see right here, things are looking pretty normal, and then all of a sudden you got the butt cheek blowout, right? That's what happens when all of a sudden the cheek goes, right? That is called an invalidated bullish divergence. And that's what happened here. And we are printing a big bottom, but look at the money flow on market Cipher. It's coming down. That's not looking very bullish. Look at the momentum waves. They're coming down. Also not looking very bullish. And the price, yes, it's at support, but I would reckon to say, all right, to use that term, reckon, that only old Southern folk and modern day British folk use, I would reckon to say that the low is not in yet. So what would I be looking at now? Well, there's key areas of support to the downside here, right? Key areas of support to the downside. Let's take a look at a few. Just below us, we actually have the point of control of the very large range that we've been trading since May, right? Let's actually clean this up just a smidgen, right? We're going to clean it up just a smidgen here. Yeah, we'll clean that up. We'll clean that up. We'll clean that up. Nope, we'll keep that on. We'll clean all this stuff up. Just below us, we have another golden pocket, and we have the high volume node of all of Bitcoin trading since Tuesday, May 10th, 2022. And what this means is that, you know, the price of Bitcoin has been established to be fairly valued right here in between these two prices by the market participants, by the buyers and the sellers. And the most asset has exchanged hands at the exact price of 19,193, right? 19.2, right where we have a Fibonacci golden pocket. And here's the thing, 618, she will reject you. But because you're in the friend zone, she will also be there to offer you support, right? She'll sit there, she'll reject you and break your heart, but then she'll sit there and listen to you talk about how broken your heart is. Offer a shoulder to cry on, if you know what I'm saying, right? And so that is one very key zone of support that we need to be looking out for, the uneven butt cheek pattern on market Cipher B. The second major zone that I say that we really need to be looking out for is obviously going to be the area around the low volume node here. This very low volume node, right? Around the mid 17s, because this is just where Bitcoin would be considered undervalued according to this range, okay? Now, there are other levels in between here, but these are going to be the main ones. And if we start to lose this, and especially if we lose 16.5, I will be looking to take out the lows, potentially even putting in a new low, right? Now, I'm not bearish on Bitcoin in the long term. I know some of you are. I've read the comments, right? Bitcoin, you know, we can't look at previous market cycles because of the wars and the rumors of wars and the famines and the pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places and all these Matthew 24 type things. I understand that, right? But I'm still holding, whether it be I'm smoking the hopium or not, I'm still holding to the 4-market cycle, okay? The 4-year market cycle. And so I'm basically saying, look, even if we dump down, even if we come all the way down, drop another 10 grand of the Bitcoin price, I still look at that as a bullish thing in the long term. And I'm talking about the 2-year span here, right? The 2-year span. But these are going to be the next major targets of support that we have, in my opinion. And so as we come down to these levels for swing trades, like right, for swing longs, we need to be looking for that juicy pattern that we see right here. We don't want to see any of this stuff, right? If you see, like, here's the thing, right? If price is coming down and you're checking out the market cipher and you start to see spiderweb tattoos on the shoulder, right? And things are looking kind of normal, right? Be careful, because things might get a little abnormal real quick if you scroll down. And so, you know, these are the key zones. To the upside, it's very clear to me. To the upside, major supports right now are going to be 22, 23K. That's going to be a major resistance, I mean. Major other resistance is going to be coming in right around here at around 21.5, 21.6. And these are going to be our major supports. These are the main levels that I care about as it pertains to swing trading, right? And until then, we are going to be trading the local ranges, okay? Like the long trade that I am currently in right now. I am also in another short trade scalp as well. This range is been quite nice for the day. And by the way, guys, if you want to take advantage of trading these small-term time frames with 0% limit fees, sign up for ByBit using my link. You get 0% limit fees on derivative contracts, and if you deposit $100, you get a month free of the Crypto Fusion trading bot. It's a great, great tool. So this is what's happening on the higher-term time frames. On the local time frames, right? We came down to the CME gap, we got our bounce, we got our confirmed retest, we came up to the top of the range, which all these levels, this level exactly was the 786, right? This is why we respected it. We come back down, we get a bounce from the 786, we come back up, we get a CDW of the first high, we come back down, we're consolidating at the point of control of this little range right here. We're just trading sideways right now, okay? We need to be aware to the upside of resistances locally in this little area, and we need to be aware of supports locally in this area for fake outs to the upside and to the downside. Over the weekend, guys, usually after a big move like this over the weekend, a lot of times we just range, right? A lot of times we really do just range. So that is something we need to be aware of. We also need to be aware of the S&P 500. S&P 500, guys, this is the macro range going all the way back to January 2022. And as you can see, we have come up, rejected from the value area high of the range, come down, bounce from the point of control, but now we're losing the point of control. All right, this is very intense, because if we're going to continue down and not reclaim this very key level of 39.66 on the S&P, the ES mini futures, there's a really good chance we could come down another from this area to the next major support. It's going to be between another 5 to 7% drop to the downside. We have a very key golden pocket right here at 37.70. This is going to be support number 1, and then support number 2 is going to be the value area low of this range here. It could be a very intense drop, right? And typically when the S&P 500 is dumping, Bitcoin is also dumping. Now, they're not exactly correlated like they were in the past, but they tend to move together, meaning if Bitcoin is if the ES is dumping, Bitcoin's most likely not going to be pumping. Right? It might be consolidating, but it's not going to be pumping, right? Also, the dollar's at a very curious place, because the dollar put in a very significant low. We got a bounce from the CDW. We were kind of waiting for this, right? This is when Bitcoin was, February 2nd. Bitcoin had not even topped out yet, right? And the dollar's putting in somewhat of a bottom. We get to move all the way up to the Fibonacci golden pocket, get a rejection, put in a higher high, but now if we take a look at the daily time frame, we're actually printing the upside down uneven butt cheek pattern, right? Where we have the left butt cheek very, very juicy and the right butt cheek very, very skinny as the price is getting higher. Our woman this time is hanging upside down from the ceiling. And look at market Cipher B, is about to confirm a red dot giving us lower momentum wave as the price makes a higher high here. So we're in a very, very interesting situation because the dollar is inversely correlated to Bitcoin. And so if we're going to see this thing continue down here, we might see more upside. We might see more upside on Bitcoin. It's a very strange place that we find ourselves right now. Very volatile. There's lots of news out there. Banks are falling apart. You got Silvergate dumping. All this FUD out there. There's a lot of FUD going on. The charts are a little bit unclear. So we're at very, very interesting times. Okay? Very, very interesting times. As Bitcoin is currently also getting another bounce from the local 618. Shout out to everybody in the chat right now. Man, you guys are amazing. Let's get some likes up in here. We got about 900 people. We got about 200 likes. Let's see if we can't get 900 likes on a count of 3. That would be absolutely amazing. What do you guys think? Is Bitcoin about to dump? Is about to pump? Shout out to Cozy Babe. Happy Friday, friends. Be sure to FOMO into that like button. Jason deserves all the likes. Shout out to Bullseye. On the way back up to value area high, is it typical to take out the last high or go higher for a CDW? If we are looking for a CDW, is it typical to... A CDW means you've taken out the highs, right? That's what a CDW is. So if we put in a high right here, the fact that we took the high with some bearish divergences, that is considered a chicken's drinking water. That is considered a chicken's drinking water. Shout out to Robert Bonar. God bless you, bro. Robert Bonar, the best moderator in the world for Market Cipher, the Jason Casper YouTube channel. And I'm pretty sure you moderate a whole bunch of stuff, don't you, bro? God bless you, man. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to Didar, who's short. Shout out to Jessica, who says range. Yep, we're in a sideways range. We are ranging between the CME gap that we filled in this golden pocket and the Fibonacci. If we pull it from our high to the low, we are ranging the 786 level, or if we're going to take it from this high, the golden pocket level, right? And so there are some levels to the upside, there are some levels to the downside that we do need to be aware of. But yes, for now, this is our range that we are trading quite nicely today. We're clearly not getting a huge relief rally, but it is nice to see that the dump has at least temporarily abated, right? The dump has at least temporarily been abated here, and we can catch our breath for a little bit. It's Friday. I'm leaving my shorts on, says Berg3. Shout out to Kenny Esposito. Shout out to Justice, who says small pump invalidation to 18K. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, Robert Bonar, the moderator of moderators. So a lot of people are short. Yeah, I am short too as well, guys. I'm in a few short trades. I'm in a few short positions right now. Scalp trades. I mean, I'm still in the swing short. I'm still in the swing short from basically from the high, right? So my plan right now with this swing short, having officially changed market structure, my plan is to add back into the trade, right? Because I did take a lot of profits out on the way down because I understood that it could be a swing. I also understood that it might not be. So, you know, I've already taken out more than half of the trade, and I'm going to, if we don't get a retracement, I plan to hold the rest to below 15K. But yeah, if we get a retracement, I will be looking to add to this thing, especially if we get a squeeze out for next week and we start to pump again. This is the adding to the short zone right here, right? This is the adding to the short zone. And here's the thing, and especially when it comes to trades like this, it's like we knew that it was a key area of resistance, right? We knew that it was a value area high, the 200-week moving average. We knew we had a CDW up there. We knew that market Cipher B was in fact printing the dreaded bearish upside down Sam Bankman-Fried man boob pattern, where Sam Bankman-Fried's man breasts were getting less and less poignant, okay, as the price is getting higher into key resistance. The money flow is getting lower. The momentum waves were getting lower. The red pepperoni tattoos were getting lower. The red pepperoni nipple tattoos were getting lower. And so we recognize the fact, look, this could very well be a key zone of resistance, but we didn't know for certain because the market structure had not been broken yet. Now that the market structure is broken, now that we put in this this lower low, right? Now we can say, okay, because we've changed market structure, this is absolutely a valid swing trade idea. We can look to add to the trade or even open a new trade when we get that retest, right? This is like confirmation of a trend reversal. So if I was looking for a new short trade, I would be right now, if this is the bottom here, this would be my general swing trade idea. This would be my general idea right here. You know, to wait for that retest, right? No FOMO. No FOMO. Wait patiently for potential entry. A juicy 5-to-1 risk reward. Stop loss above that 786, because really if we're coming above value area high of the old range, we could still put in a lower high, but it becomes much less probable. I mean, obviously, above the high is the real invalidation of the idea, you know. But this would be the general idea that I would be looking at, right? So if we come down lower, let's say we come down to the golden pocket and we're not really, yeah, even if we come down to this lower level, then we still would be looking for basically the same general idea here, all right? Because we're never going to go straight up, we're never going to go straight down. We're going to kind of do a little squiggly wiggly, unless this, right? We could do something like that. We could, right? We could. But here's the thing. Even with this, we even got somewhat of a retracement. So, but in general, it's rare. It's very rare to be doing stuff like this. Now, the truth is, if we lose the golden pocket, if we don't get any kind of real bounce here and we fall right through, we recognize how fast we could come down here because of the fact that there's very, very little support and resistance along the way, right? It's just, we could just fly right through there. We could totally just fly right through there. Man, Bitcoin is doing a whole bunch of stuff right now. We're pumping, we're dumping. We're pumping and dumping, right? Shout out to Crypto Lifer. Shout out to the lifers in here. Look to the 4 hours time frame. You put leverage on swing trades, Gob. Yeah, well, okay. So yeah, let me address the 100x leverage thing. All right, guys. Let me address the 100x leverage real quick. I get a lot of comments about, you know, Jason, are you using 100x leverage? I'm not really using 100x leverage, guys. When I entered the trade, I think I had like 30x. I just did this for the P&L shot, right? I did this for the P&L shot. You know, this thing. And also, something else is, once you're in a trade, it doesn't matter what leverage you use. I mean, they're literally changing the leverage right now. I could make it 1000x. It wouldn't change anything because my entries up here, I'm not going to get liquidated, right? It doesn't matter. All I've done is lower the amount of margin that's on the trade. I could up the leverage. I could lower. It doesn't even matter, right? It doesn't matter anymore. If I'm going to add to the trade, I will... I might not even have to change the leverage, because if I add to the trade up here, let's say, and my average entry now is down to here, right? And I still have my stop loss here, and then it doesn't matter, right? It does not matter. So that's the thing about the leverage, guys. So, you know. Shout out to Spartan Wrestler 119. What is going on, bro? God bless you, man. Good to see you here. Shout out to Crypto Crank in the house. Shout out to Mad Cat Pat. DXY is dumping. Yeah, let's check out DXY right now. Because if it's dumping, then we might get a move up on Bitcoin right now. I was kind of hoping we would have a juicy short squeeze today. I mean, is it dumping locally right now? I mean... We just got a little bit of a move to the upside here, right? We did dump quite a bit. And then we got a little move to the upside. So let's see what happens here with DXY. We did have some bullish divs on the 6-minute time frame. Let's check out our 12-minute time frame. Looks like we might actually come down a little bit more here. Looks like we might come down a little bit more here. Let's take a look at some other coins, guys. Let's take a look at ETH. Let's take a look at ETH real quick. And then we'll take a look at some other assets as well. So ETH is in a similar predicament to the Bitcoin here, in the sense that ETH has pretty much lost its range as well, right? So let's remove all the drawings here. ETH also now officially in a downtrend. When we take a look, we have lost this last low. And so we were speculating, is this a diamond reversal pattern? And we were saying, if this is a diamond reversal, this is definitely the place where you would want to look to take a short. This is a level that we did give in the Casper crew as well. The Casper crew, we do give some accurate levels in there, right? I do have to say that. It's not just me either. I mean, you got Boy and White Phoenix, K-Pax, and many others posting the juiciest, accurate technical analysis. But here's the thing now with ETH. We're in a very similar situation as we are to Bitcoin in the sense that from the December 30th low to the high, we are also bouncing from the Fibonacci golden pocket. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? And depending, there's a few different fibs we could pull here. And either way, you could say we're bouncing from a fib, but we're not bouncing from the fib, right? There's a much lower fib that ETH could bounce from, which is the one from the lows that we put in back in November. And interestingly enough, for ETH right now, we do see a very juicy confluence. I mean, ETH is looking very different than Bitcoin. ETH is consolidating in what one could consider a symmetrical triangle, right? On a very high-term time frame, we've got this kind of thing going on right here. This entire time, Bitcoin has been trading in different ranges. ETH has just been consolidating within this symmetrical triangle right here. Now, some people look at this and say, you know what? That is a bear flag, a bear pennant. And you know what? It could be, guys. It could be. You know, it really could be. After we get a move to the downside and we start to consolidate in a triangle, that typically is bearish, although this is a neutral pattern here. All right. So when we take a look at all the volume that's traded since May, we can see something very interesting, which is this. We do have a very, very nice confluence of support coming in right around this area where we have the golden pocket, the 786, the value area low, and this trend line. So it is just so interesting because we know that Bitcoin also has some key zones of support below its current price. And if this whole trend line thing is going to continue, this triangle is going to continue and not break down, this would be a very key zone to be looking for some kind of support to come in to either get a move to break out or get just something like this and eventually break down until we come all the way back to like a $500 ETH, right? I mean, I don't know what's in store for the future here. You know, we were talking this morning that if we do get some kind of crazy black swan event happening, man, I mean, if we really hit the target of this, we're talking about a negative $6 ETH, right? That is absolutely insane. And obviously, I'm being sarcastic. But yeah, we could see some pretty low ETH prices if this thing does start to break down here. Let's put on log scale actually, and let's just do some contemplation. Let's just do some contemplation here. We'll go to the 7-day time frame, which is different than the week, by the way. We'll go to the 7-day. Let's just go ahead and do this again on log scale. We'll do this on log scale. Okay, so the target of this thing on log scale is right about at this key support resistance flip right here, the 2019 high. I'm sorry, it's not the 2019 high. This is 2019 high. It's the 2020 support resistance flip here. Let's go back. Let's go to our weekly time frame. And let's take just a look at what we've got going on here. Let's take a look at the volume. I mean, we do have a low volume node right here. This is kind of the delineation between the massive last bull market and then the previous cycle of consolidation. That's an interesting zone right down there. Let's also pull out a fib from the low to the high and see what we got going on. Probably nothing. I'm going to turn on our 886. Okay, so we do have a Fibonacci 886 coming down around that area as well. If ETH is going to break down from this. Because if Bitcoin's going to take its low and ETH is going to take its low, I mean, ETH could come down pretty hard. Look at this move to the upside. It could come down really hard right around to this support resistance flip. And yeah, just like Bitcoin, I wouldn't necessarily consider that too bearish in the long term, right? But in the short term, this box right here between the price of 11, or I would say 1200 and 1300 is very, very, very key support. And then to the upside, I would say we also have some very key resistances. Like if we take our fib from the the high to the low, you can see that, well, we pretty much hit it right into that trend line already. Wow, that's interesting. Let's pull it from here. Yeah, this is super interesting. So the local Fibonacci golden pocket, if we're going to retrace right now, comes into that trend line as well. So I would say that these two trend lines are quite important. There's a lot of confluence at both of them. And if we break out of this thing, I would say that we're going to come and test our highs at 2000, right around this very important support resistance flip. Right? That 2100, 2000, 2100 area would be our first target, in my opinion. But Market Cipher, let's take a look at Market Cipher real quick on the weekly time frame. All right, we'll start on the weekly. Market Cipher is printing a red dot just like Bitcoin is, which means it's time for a retracement. But something else that we do have to remember is money flow is still getting higher here. We have not really printed any kind of a well, yeah, I guess technically we have printed a hidden bearish divergence here. Okay, so technically there are hidden bearish divergences here. The daily time frame does have regular bearish divergences, just like Bitcoin did. As we came up a little bit higher, the momentum waves were getting lower here. On the 4-hour time frame, we do not see uneven butt cheek pattern, right? We do not see it. We were seeing it for a little bit back here, right? We were kind of seeing uneven butt cheeks on the 4-hour right in this area. Like we were saying, this could be one cheek, this could be the second cheek. But then, you know, when you start to form butt cheeks and the price is not getting lower like this, that's actually kind of bearish. You want to see the cheeks with the price getting lower. You don't want to see the cheeks with the price getting higher, because that is not so bullish. So yeah, I would say in general, it looks like we do need to get more of movement to the downside. A weak red dot. We've got the daily bearish divs. The daily VWAP doesn't look like it's about to print a bottom, and the 4-hour, we don't have any kind of butt cheeks. So it looks to me like we're going to consolidate here for a little bit and then get another move to the downside, right? Consolidate, or maybe even squeeze up and then get another move to the downside. That's what's most probably going to happen right now for ETH. Just like for Bitcoin, that's probably what's going to happen. We can take a look at Matic here as well. Now, Matic is quite interesting because Matic actually did squeeze up quite a bit today, and we've been waiting for Matic to kind of hit some key zones of support and resistance. So let's kind of see what's going on with Matic here, because we are, what looks to me like we are testing a pretty key zone here. This is the daily time frame. Let's take a look at all the volume that's traded right here. We are kind of at that value area high, and if we take a fib from the low to the high, we are at the zone in between the golden pocket and the 786. So this is a very interesting area for Matic right here. If we can actually hold above this area, if we can reclaim this and then put in a higher low, that's actually pretty dang bullish. Now, when we look at Market Cipher, I would say that this does not look too bullish on the daily time frame. Let's go to the 4-hour and see a little bit more clearly. The 4-hour actually looks like we might hold this support, right? We do see some slight bullish divergences and some slight money flow getting higher. How's the 1-hour looking? Right? It's not looking too great. And here's the thing, if Bitcoin dumps, all these altcoins are absolutely going to bleed as well. So we need to keep that in the back of our mind as we're looking at these assets. So the major zone of support for Matic that I would like to see is basically coming all the way back down to the low of this value area, around the 70-cent zone. Because the 70-cent zone is a value area low, which basically means that's where the asset's considered to be undervalued. And when we look at the level here, it is a golden pocket right around that area as well. It's Fibonacci golden pocket. And if we just draw a green box here, we can see that this was a very important level of support going all the way back to July 2021. And then we bounced from it. We literally bounced right from it in May and then back tested it as resistance. And then when we broke out of it, it was support once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times, right? So this is going to be a very key level for Matic. If we start to lose this level, obviously we could see more downside. obviously. But this to me right now is going to be very, very key support. Very key support. We have to really wait and see what Bitcoin is going to do, because if Bitcoin's going to put in a macro high or low, I think a lot of these altcoins will do the same. What I mean by that is this: as long as Bitcoin doesn't lose the, as long as Bitcoin doesn't take out these lows, there's a really good chance that a lot of these altcoins could put in higher lows as well, right? So if Bitcoin gets its bounce here, or gets its bounce here, or gets its bounce here, or gets its bounce even just dipping under the low, but if we start closing daily candles under here, nah, I think we're going to see a lot more downside, right? The good old daily candle close, that's the tried and true way, right? The tried and true. That is absolutely tried and true. Let's take a look at Ripple. Let's take a look at XR Pizzle. Let's take a look at Ripple. Let's check out our Bitcoin trades. How are they doing? They're not doing so great, right? They're not doing too great. Wow. Would you look at that? I literally almost got stopped out of this short. This short, I added to it. I took the CDW. And then I kind of added to it when we came back up for a little retest. And I added a little bit too much. Let's see if it gets stopped out. Shout out to Crypto Crank. What is going on, man? What is going on, Crypto Crank? Shout out to Aaron G. Shout out to Cozy Babe, who's congratulating Aaron G. He compounded one of the shorts like a boss yesterday. Significant gains made. Congratulations, bro. Good work. Isn't Bitcoin making a bear flag on the 15-minute, says Remodeling Pro? Yes and no. So here's the thing. It depends how we're looking at it, right? If we put on our lenses of higher term time frame, then yes. But I would say it's neutral. Okay, I would say that we could experience some upside from the bear flag, right? And hear me out. I'm not saying it's not a bear flag, but we know that we are coming down to a key zone of support, which is this Fibonacci golden pocket confluence with the CME futures gap, right? And we know that we're starting to form a sideways range, okay? And we're heading into a weekend. We very well may get a short squeeze, right? We very well may get a short squeeze back up to some of these levels here, right? The fact that people are thinking that this is a bear flag is honestly kind of, you got to think, right? How do I say this in a way that I'm not telling anybody what to do or how to look at the chart, but I am saying that although yes, of course we could be forming a bear flag and break down much, much lower, it's not necessarily guaranteed to happen after such a massive move to the downside like this, because there are a lot of people who FOMO shorted the crap out of this. There's a lot of shorts that could get absolutely squeezed right now before another move to the downside. Right, this whole way down, there were so many shorts opening up. And so there's a lot of liquidity to the upside. And if bigger players want to continue to push the price down, we're going to have to wreck some shorts first before getting moved to the downside, right? So just be careful, I would say, shorting with the idea that this is a bear flag. If we're shorting on a lower term time frame, then by all means, of course, I recommend, whenever we start to form some kind of consolidation, I always do recommend trying to find the highs and say, all right, you know, if this is a bear flag, I want to take my short trade from these regions here, right? If this is a bear flag, we want to be shorting from these regions. But what we don't want to do is say, oh, this is the bear flag, let me take a short when we lose the support. Because if we lose the support, there's a good chance we could actually even get a fake out to the downside, as we're kind of watching this consolidate here, right? We're watching this kind of form, right? So if we come and just snag the lows and stop out all the early longs, it could initiate a short squeeze. We would have some pretty bullish divergences also on the 15-minute time frame, right? We can see this kind of thing forming here. So I would be cautious expecting a breakdown from here right away. Could happen, of course. You know, it absolutely could happen. I mean, yesterday was one of the examples of those days where we just keep on coming down, right? That doesn't happen all the time. Most of the time, that's not going to happen, but sometimes it does. And I would say it's very rare that after a big move like this, we just consolidate and then get another just as big move. That's pretty rare, but it could happen, especially since all the banks are falling apart. And I don't know, isn't there something like there's like Bitcoin that are being dumped back into the market right now? I don't know. I don't really pay attention to it. I just trade the charts. Shout out to Chip Chocolate. What is going on, Chip Chocolate, man? Thank you so much for being here. Bookmap is dead. The bull run, when is the bull run coming? I'd say that the bull run is probably going to peak in 2025, around the spring of 2025. I think it's going to start officially next year, a year from now. And, yeah, I think that, I think it'll probably be, we'll top out around 2025. Between the spring and the fall. Shout out to Michuano, who says, you think daily money flow cross into the... Hang on. Into the red Judo Chop Bitcoin. Did money flow cross into the red officially now? It could Judo Chop Bitcoin. Absolutely. It absolutely could. Yeah, we have to be honest and say we could come down much, much farther here. In fact, I think it's probable that we come down farther. Even if we squeeze up, I think another move to the downside is very probable. Now, the question is, are we going to put in a higher low? Or are we going to put it in a lower low? I think that's really the main question right now, because I'm prepared for a move to the downside. Shout out to Bobby D. The bull run starts when people stop asking when the bull run will be. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's very true, and it will, you know, just historically speaking here, right? Just historically speaking, we are approaching 1 year before the halving, right? 1 year before the halving. The white lines are 1 year before the halving. And so, typically, once that halving starts, we're officially in that bull market, right? So, let's see. As we are in this time 1 year before, we can see lots of volatility. Big dumps happen in this time, right? Mostly ranging. We always bottom out between the area of the 786 and the 886 fibs, so, you know, we could get another pretty big move to the downside right here. That's a $10,000 move to the downside. You know, that's another 50% to the downside potentially. And, you know, in my opinion, and the way I'm actually handling this for me is I'm accumulating Bitcoin. The lower we go, the more I will accumulate. I was accumulating heavily under 20K. I have not bought any more on spot at these prices. I'm going to wait until we take out 15K. And then I'm going to be buying a lot more Bitcoin at those prices. So, and obviously, there's always a risk involved with any investment. And it's always important to never risk more than you are willing to lose. Because there's a chance we never get another bull run, right? A lot of the recession people could be totally right. You know, they could be right that, you know, Bitcoin's never existed during a recession before. It's been in a global bull market. Everything was great. 2010 was right after the 2008 recession. The QE was on full blast. And all this new, freshly printed money hot off the presses can go right into crypto. And the crypto bear markets in the past have been during regular economic bull markets. And we don't know what's going to happen when the whole world is in a recession and crypto's in a bear market, right? They could be right. They could be. So if you're not willing to take that risk, please don't. And also, don't risk anything that's going to put yourself or your family in a position of being in trouble. Right? When it comes to investments, it has to be money that if you lose it, it would suck. But it's not going to ruin your life. That's really what's key. If you're investing things that this is money you need to live, you know, that's a foolish decision. That's a foolish decision, in my opinion. So Mike Bucco says something that I can't actually say on YouTube, but that's interesting. Do you use TD Sequence today? Might confirm. I don't use TD Sequence. Alex Lee thinks I'm getting emotional. I don't think that this was actually a recession, right? So the Vidco 91, I should say, that recession, I wouldn't consider that a recession, man. I would not consider that a recession. Right? Not on paper, That's the thing. We got to look on paper. On paper, that was not a recession. On paper, that was a flash crash entering into one of the biggest economic booms in all history. Right? One of the biggest economic booms in all history. Here's why. Check it out. The vid crash comes around, right? And, I mean, when we just put this thing into perspective here, the vid crash comes around, and we're still not even down to where we were when the Orange Man got into office, right? Orange Man comes in right here. Vidco crash. We're still not even making a new low here, right? We're not even making a new low. And then as soon as the Vidco is over, yes, the economy shuts down, but on paper, the economy hits new all-time highs, right? So I think we can't really compare it to the Vidco crash. And also, the Vidco was a cause for a lot of printing, right? The printing presses were going off like crazy. Because remember, the economy was shut down. So all the money that came into the stock market was all just created, right? A little QE going on right here. You know what I'm saying? A little QE. So yeah, we are in very interesting times. Like, yeah, that's a Black Swan flash crash. And we might get another one. We also might get another Black Swan flash crash. You know, because who knows what's going to happen over in Eastern Europe? Who knows what kind of strange weapons might be deployed, or who knows what kind of strange things are going to be going on in the near future that could cause flash crashes. And, you know, a lot of times these bearish-looking market conditions are exacerbated by events, right? Like, for example, lest we not forget, this very bearish signal that printed right here happened a week before FTX went down, but nonetheless, it was a very bearish signal. We had this very bearish signal print before the whole thing with whatchamacallit happened. What is it, Silvergate? Before Silvergate, this bearish signal printed. Before FTX, this bearish signal printed. You know, before the whole Luna thing, we had these bearish signals printing up here. So it's very interesting. You kind of get the bearish signal, and then you get the event that kind of pushes the price down. So who knows? I do have to say that this daily time frame signal here, objectively speaking, right? Objectively speaking, I do have to say that this is probably one of the most bearish signals that Market Cipher could possibly print, right? It's just like this one up here. I mean, this is the kind of stuff we saw at the bull market all-time highs, right? It's this kind of signal, right? So, yeah, objectively speaking, this could really, if something else crazy happens, you know, maybe this signal is an omen of things to happen in the future. Very well could be. All right, so Brandon Shoemaker. What are you talking about, Brandon Shoemaker? Yes, you cannot say this word on YouTube, Jesse Ray. You cannot. I know this because I was working with somebody who was helping me with my YouTube marketing, and he said, if you say that word, your videos don't get put into the algorithm. And he did experiments with it with very big channels where they'd push video, they would say the word in a video, and then from that point on, their ad revenue gets like cut in half. Right? YouTube doesn't want to push your video. They don't want to advertise on your videos if you're going to be talking about that. So it's very interesting. Yeah, I'll look at XRP. We'll take a look at XRPizzle right now. How's the Bitcoin doing? Pumping? Let's set a few alerts here, actually. Let's set a few alerts. This is Ripple here. I do want to set a few alerts. What? Okay, hang on 1 second. I want to set a few alerts so that I don't miss anything here. If we get another move up, I do want to be aware if we're coming back to value area high. And if we get another move down, I do want to be aware if we are coming to value area low. Cool. So yeah, let's take a look at Ripple now. Good old XRP. Well, XRP is simply still trading the macro range that we've got right here, respecting it very, very nicely. This has been a very nice range since May because the value area high and the value area low have been respected very, very nicely. And then we could say that we are trading in a smaller range from right here, from November. And also, the levels are being respected quite nicely. Let's take a look at the downtrend. First of all, let's take a look at how market Cipher is looking. On the daily, money flow is coming down, crossing to the purple. Momentum seems to be getting a little bit lower. Let's check out our 4-hour. 4-hour is actually printing a bullish divergence. 4 hours printing a bullish divergence. That's pretty cool. Let's see. What did we bounce from the 618 or something? No, we didn't even bounce from the 786. We bounced from the 886 fib to the dang dollar. Wow. We bounced from the 886 fib to the dollar. Looks like that is a bullish divergence printing. Huh. Well, we tapped into the golden pocket. I don't really like anything I'm seeing right now on the Ripple chart. Let's pull this fib from the low. Yeah, I would actually want to come down a tad bit lower here for Ripple. Since Ripple is just ranging and kind of ignoring what the rest of the market is doing, we have a very nice zone of support just below where we're at right now. The Fibonacci golden pocket, the high volume node of the lower range at about 34 to 35 cents. So if we get one more drive down there, that's a very nice zone of support. It's a very, very nice zone of support. And to the upside, the 42-cent golden pocket is also very nice because it was previous resistance and now it's a fib golden pocket. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry, we already hit that golden pocket. Huh. There's not too many juicy confluences for XRP. I would say this support looks very, very nice right now. That support looks very, very nice. Alex Lee says, in this world, nothing is free. Food, nothing. Call easy money. Stop wasting time in crypto. You heard it here, folks. Stop wasting time in crypto. If you want fast money, go gamble, says Alex Lee. Those YouTubers don't even know if we're going up and down, and they try to open content. What an idiot. Well, you heard it here, guys. Alex Lee. It's funny those YouTubers open content. They don't even know if it's going up or down. They're just pretending to know. Well, Alex Lee, man, let me introduce you to a beautiful world of technical analysis, my friend. Let me introduce you to a beautiful world of technical analysis, right? If you're approaching these charts and you think that you can know if price is going up or down, you're in the wrong mindset, my friend. You're in the wrong mindset, right? Can price go up? Can price go down? It depends, right? It depends. It depends. We can't know what price is going. We cannot know, right? And I will never make a prediction. All we can do is say what is probable to happen. What's most probable? This is a game of probabilities. And the other thing we can do is we can mark out levels of support and resistance and then learn how to make a decision in the moment based on what the chart is telling us, right? If the chart is printing, let's say, this type of male anatomy or even this type of female anatomy, we might be able to take advantage of the volatility on the chart, right? So we need to be dealing in if-then scenarios, right? If-then scenarios. So we might say to ourselves, if the Bitcoin price comes up to this level, and if market Cipher B is going to print this pattern, then I can take this trade from the exact level that we had marked out. Now, we didn't know it was going to hit the level, right? And I didn't know it was going to come down this low for certain, but it's just based on probabilities. And then there's certain things we can do to mitigate risk, right? One of the things is taking a profit early and moving your stop loss to the entry to avoid a loss and to ensure a win. That's one thing you can do. Good risk management is also very important, right? If we want to not be risking more than 0.5 to 1% of our stack per trade, and then always going for those good risk to reward ratios, right? We can't know what's going to happen, but we can look at the chart objectively and say, this is resistance and this is support. And so if we come to this level, and if Sam Bankman-Fried is upside down with his man breath hanging out, then I could take a trade here, lock in a profit, and then hold it potentially down to the support, right? Because it's more probable than not, especially now that we put in a lower low, that we make our way back down to that support, right? We can't know what the market's going to do. And if you're approaching trading that way, you're going to get wrecked, right? Some people trade that way. They're like, you know what? I feel like this is going to happen. Well, it's not going to work out so good for you, my friend, right? That's not going to work out so good for you. But I do have to say, right, we were, able to take a long trade from the bottom here. I mean, literally from this giant dump, long from the bottom. And this is a level that we had given in advance in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. I mean, we didn't know we were going to get a bounce there, but there are certain things to be looking for when you come down to a level. And, we saw those things there, right? We saw those things. And that's how TA works, man. It's not prediction. It's not prediction. Right? So there is a big difference. There is a big difference. I hope that makes sense. People say a soul dump is incoming. Bitcoin and SPX are dumping. We got a 2-minute order block right on the golden pocket above us, and your stop loss is right before the golden pocket. I know, Brendan Shoemaker. I know. I understand, man. I know. It's a bad position to be in, but what am I going to do? What am I going to do, bro? Maybe we reject from the golden pocket. Maybe I should take a little more profit out of this short here. Yeah, I'm going to do that, actually. Yeah, it's a sloppy trade for sure. It's a sloppy trade. There we go. There we go. We'll lock in some more profits there. Shout out to Butcher Jerd in the house. Shout out to Chip Chocolate. Shout out to Lacey90. GRT. Should we take a look at GRT? Shout out to Dylan Waves, man. 6 Juanita is the one, though, lady. Yeah. 6 Juanita. Good old 6 Juanita. Guys, today is games in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. It's going to be a really fun time. We're going to be doing some DGen 100x trading in there. Playing some games for some cash prizes. Multiple chances to win 500 USDT. And it's going to be a good time, guys. I'm actually really excited. We're going to have different challenges for you to accomplish. And then if you win the challenge, you win $500. We take the $500 and we ask you the $1 million question, long or short, 100x. Right now, you got to say long or short. We enter the trade. Whatever profit the trade makes adds to your prize. Whatever loss, I will eat it for you because for the sake of the fun, it's worth it. Right? So that is happening today at 2:30 p.m. in about 50 minutes. Also, in about 40 minutes in the Casper crew, we are going to have new member orientation where we give a tour of the community, show you where everything is, where everyone posts their TA, their trade setups, and all that stuff, where you can find the live streams, all that kind of good stuff. All right, let's take a look at what other coin should we look at. Let's see what other coin should we look at real quick. Looks like there's a little delay because I do want to know. All right, we get some coins coming in. Let's see what coins we want to do. See what coins we're gonna take a look at here. We got some stuff coming in here. You know, now that I took profit on the short, we're gonna dump, right? For sure, that's how it works. Shout out to everybody who liked the stream, guys. FOMO into the like button. We got 1,200 people in here, 400 likes. Let's get it up to 1,000 likes, y'all. It would absolutely make my day. We just took a look at Matic, KidX, so if you want to go back in time and take a look at Matic, we can do that. Shout out to Brian Bus Havens. What's going on, bro? We just took a look at Matic, guys. We just took a look at Matic. Let's see. Right now in the chat, let me know what coin we should take a look at before we head on over to the Discord. All right, we got a lot of people looking at Algo. All right, let's take a look at Algo. Algo. Take a look at Algo. ALGO. ALGO USDT. Let's take a look at it. Good old Algo. Wow. Oh my goodness. Wow. Look at this chart. It looks very up and downy. Wow. This is very, very interesting. We'll take a look from our May order block to our present day. Oof. This does not look strong, guys. That does not look strong. Okay. So when I look at this chart here, I have to say that I don't know what I would do to long this, right? I don't know what I would do to long this. Because we're below the 618, we're below the value area low, we're below the 786, and there's no okay. I was wrong. There are still lower levels to the downside. Let's see what we got here. I mean, all right, let's go to the monthly time frame. Let's take a look. What do we got? Here's what we got. We have a monthly order block down here. It's been hit. Okay. The only hope I would say I have for this coin for a level of support is this right here. This is all I can see. Other than that, it's speculative, especially if we're looking for like a leveraged position here. We have this monthly order block from April 2020 at 15.4 cents, right? If we come down and put in another lower low and bounce from this monthly level, that could actually make for a good potential long trade, but it would be a very speculative long trade, right? It would be very speculative. And like, oh man, it would be tough, right? I wouldn't want to take this trade without some kind of sign of strength either. Like, I would want to do something like this. I would want to come down, tap the level. You could probably get a scalp from the level, but then I would want to see like some kind of sign of strength, right? So I would want to come down, tap the level, put in a higher high locally, and then what we could do is we could look to long the local golden pocket, right? So something like this. would be like a safe entry, some kind of confirmation that we are getting a bounce, a sign of strength, which would be, you know, putting in a higher high locally, right? Getting a bounce from the level, putting in a higher high locally, and then coming down to retest the golden pocket. And then that could give us our entry like this. But this is a tough one, right? Because if an aggressive entry right from this level could get us wrecked, right? Another thing that could happen is basically going for a liquidity grab of the low, right? Down here from March 2020, the Vidco 91 dump. A liquidity grab of that at 9 cents. You know, but those are really the only two levels that I see that would give me any kind of setup that I could plan for, right? I don't have any other kind of setup that I could plan for here. But we are at the bottom of the bottom. I mean, really, from all-time lows here, it's, you know, 40% away. So you could say, you know, I mean, unless this thing goes straight to zero, unless it pulls a Luna, which we know these things can, right? I don't know what Algo is. I have no idea. I don't even know what Luna is, guys. You know, I don't know what Solana is either. Solana, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know anything about crypto or blockchain. The only thing I know is long and short. That's all I really know is buy low and sell high. That's all I know. And that's all I care, right? Because I'm in this to acquire tangible physical assets. I'm in crypto so that I can acquire animals and improve my homestead, right? I don't care about cryptocurrency. I care about actual things that will help me and other people live. So, I don't know what Algo is. Sounds cool. Sounds pretty dang cool. Algo, you know. But if it's some scam or something, I don't know. Could go to zero. How to make a stop loss if you have no trade but have a limit set up for a long. Oh, okay, so that's very simple, right? That's very, very simple. Let's say I want to long 19,700, right? 19,700. You come over here, make sure it's on limit order, right? Go ahead and put 19,700. Put how many contracts you want to put on the trade. Let's say we want to put on $25,000, right? And then click buy long with stop loss and TP. Then you go ahead and say, let's say I want my stop loss to be 19,650, right? Just as an example, right? Then it will tell you that a market stop loss will be triggered and your loss will be 0.000322909 Bitcoin with an ROI of negative 18%. Then you just go ahead and click the buy long. And it places the order here with the stop. Now I'm going to cancel that because that'll mess up my open trade. But that's how you do it. At least that's how you do it in ByBit, right? Alright guys, thank you so much for liking the video. Thank you so much for liking the stream. I do have to head out as we prepare for Discord games, but man, God bless all of you. Have such a great weekend. I really pray you all have a great weekend, mate. You all be blessed in Jesus' name, even if you're not religious. I still pray you're blessed. So may the Lord bless you. May He protect you. May He shine light upon you. May He have grace on you. May the Lord turn His face towards you and give you wholeness and peace. And I will see you guys next week. Have a great weekend, y'all.